It's been a few months since ARCHON Shards got introduced, and with rate of us obtaining them being so slow, it's about time they get a proper informed review. The short of it is that they are quite useful, but not game-breaking. Depending on the frame or your build, we can gain a lot from them, but in my eyes the most use we can get out of them is still going to be utility. To understand that, we just need to compare shards to mods and arcanes. There are 5 shard slots, 8 mod slots, and 2 arcane slots on each frame. Out of those 3 types of warframe modifications, shards have by far the lowest value per slot. Which does not make them bad at all, just sets up a game in a peculiar way that the most effective way to make use of shards is to make them replace an odd mod in your build and then put a much stronger mod instead. Example would be my slow Nova. As Nova does, we need 300% or higher ability duration on her to gain 90% damage reduction, which means we have to use all 4 ability duration mods on her build. That's a lot of mods for one thing, but what if we take the weakest one out and make up for it with shards? That way, we get to use a much better mod. In this case, since I have a dispensary on her, I chose to put Equilibrium. In my eyes, that's the highest value we can get out of shards, as it allows for some real diverse builds. Sure, we can slap 5 shards for ability strength if we want to, but it sounds much more efficient to slap like 2 shards to replace 1 mod in your build, and then use Transient Fortitude in place of that mod. So, to cover which shards and stats I find particularly useful, I'll start with an Amber Shard. Right off the bat, I'll say that casting speed stat is of very high value. 2 shards replace Natural Talent mod, and make everything just that much more comfy. With a lot of the game's meta shifting to more quick spammy abilities, I feel like this is probably the most valuable stat out of all shards, just by sheer virtue of being useful on so many frames. Effectiveness of orbs is pretty good because Helminth offers more than 1 ability to spawn orbs. Some more energy-hungry warframes will definitely benefit from more juice out of energy orbs, but for health orbs, it's a bit more situational. Their base being buffed to 50 HP per orb does open up for some fun builds. Like, for example, if everybody in the squad puts one of those shards, the Necros becomes one of the best healers in the game. Filled Energy on start replaces Preparation mod. Combine that with some parkour speed and you got yourself an insane speedrun build, or what Warframe players call a Fisher run build. Crimson Shard. Yeah, I'm not too pleased with this one. Like I mentioned, we can use that ability duration and ability strength stat to reach certain levels needed for some abilities to cap, and that's probably as good as it gets from this one. Aiding weapon stats with shards is a bit of an odd one for me, because it's rare I tie one weapon or even one type of weapon to a frame, but talking about tied weapons, exalted weapons, Titania's Dexpixia benefits from this shard, and it's nuts. Because of such limited base critical chance, we used to be able to reach only about 30%, but with shards, we can get it to about 50% if we get all Tau forced. Azure Shard is in a better place in my opinion. Its best value is probably being able to replace Flow or Prime Flow. Adding like 2 of these will increase energy battery enough for most frames, again playing to the same theme of unlocking mod slots with Archon Shards. I really like doing this, especially on frames that have abysmally low maximum energy at about 150 to 180. 2 Azure Shards mean a world to them. Now, a bit of an odd one, but small amount of healing may work with some frames that have high armor or some ability that gives them high damage reduction. Does not look like much, but it's sustained healing and it helps. Shield, health, and armor are good stats to, again, replace mods in builds if we desire so. They're flat values, so we need like 3 shards to replace what vitality gives us. Not great, not terrible. And that's the long of it, and that's the general mind frame I think helps when utilizing the best out of resources we have. Of course, as we said, we can just slap 5 ability strength shards for an extra 50% ability strength on Wisp that already has like 400% because reasons. But for me, I see shards as a huge comfort update. Because we have thousands of mods in the game, but only 8 slots. Shards justify using some mods or experimenting with different augments. Opens up so many builds. I haven't mentioned Tau Forged that are 50% stronger. Obviously here, higher stat equals better, but I do not think they are a must. We can totally put together awesome builds without them, and that extra quote-unquote edge from those stealth fours they got, honestly, I didn't see it come into play. Guess what I'm trying to say is that stealth fours are nice, but don't sweat over it. Obtaining them is slow, but give it time and D will give us more ways to get them, I'm pretty sure. In terms of elevating the general power level in the game, this is one of the most balanced updates D has delivered. Hats off to that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.